afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to the Comcast Community Cable Television Game of the Week. It's the baseball game of the week, Mount Baldy League High School Baseball. It's Ontario High School at home versus the Cougars from Rancho Cucamonga High School, James Hill and Gil Lemus, and we'll be bringing you all the action today. Gil, what does today's contest hold for?
Well, what we got, James, is we got the Ontario High School Jaguars at 11-2. Of course, if they win this game, they clinch the league title. So basically, that's, you know, it's do or die tonight. I mean, they could make big efforts into going into to their next game.
Beautiful. Eno steps into the plate, and the first pitch is a strike, and it looks like the pitching is provided by Jeremy Zick, and he's throwing some heat early.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty nice fastball inside. Now at the bat, we got, I think it's Ben Cano, and he's an infielder, so.
And Jeremy Zick providing the pitch, and it's outside. And Ontario wearing their home uniforms, the wine-colored jersey with the gold numeral and the gray pants, and it's a beautiful day for baseball.
Gorgeous day, James. That was a 2-1 pitch here. See what he'll come in with. Oh, he took a high swing at that one.
And Kano continuing to be aggressive, just kind of swinging at anything he can get his eyes on.
Yeah, I think he's trying to make a statement early, wouldn't you say, James? Like, let's get this show on the road.
And Zick delivers, nice. And Kano hits this one out to center field as
they're going to go ahead and hold him at first. Nice little, I'd say a little jumper ball up there to center field, really, because it kind of made the second baseman jump quite a bit.
Up to bat number.
We got
number 8.
No, it's number 2. That's Jarrett Brown.
Check that, number 2, Jarrett Brown.
He's a center field position, James. See what he's got. So now they're in business here. He's going to go to second. He's in there.
And Kano running on his first opportunity, gains a base, and I tell you, this Rancho club, they look very aggressive early.
Yeah, they do. They seem like they came out here to take care of business early, and that's very aggressive running right there, right off the bat. I think Coach Sean Sullivan's making sure that these guys don't stay lax in regards to running. High ball there.
A high ball outside as Brown provides the fake bunt attempt, and he pulls it back.
So now it's a good dilemma here. You got a 2-0 pitch, and that runner at second looking pretty aggressive.
And Jeremy Zick on the mound. And the bunt delivered to the pitcher. Zick throws to third base, and Kano is safe. The tie always going to the runner as Brown takes his base on first. Runners at the corners. And Gil, this thing looks very good if you're a Rancho fan.
I tell you what, this is pretty exciting. They just came in here and they showed their aggressiveness right off the bat, if I could say that. Right. So they are, let's just say they're in command right now. Really, this is the kind of situation Coach Sullivan couldn't have dreamed of any better.
And Ontario with a record of 11-2 in league, one of those losses coming to this very same Cougar baseball club. So the Cougars aren't afraid to come in here and be very competitive.
Trying to catch them snoozing up at first, but
yeah, Jeremy Zick making sure that Brown is going to stay honest and stay on first base. As a very aggressive Rancho club comes out, the Cougars trying to score some points early.
Oh, there he goes, going to second.
And a pickle.
I think they
and it's safe.
Oh, I think, well, the ump's signaling he's out.
And the umpire signaling
Well, that looked kind of, from our vantage point, I thought he was probably in, but no, that umpire signaled him out.
Yeah, and Rick Carbajo kind of.
Yeah, kind of tentative on that call, wouldn't you say, James?
Very tentative there.
Okay, so we got to bat here. is, watch out.
And the first pitch is a foul ball delivered almost to us. Could have hit us on the head there,
I wish I had
Gil.
my glove with me. That would have been nice. Moon. I can't catch his first name. Oh, there he is, Mike Moon. I'm sorry.
So Mike Moon,
The infield.
junior, 5'11", 165, plays infielder, and he pitches, and he has a good eye. So Moon's not going to swing at anything he
No,
sees.
he's not. That's you know, that pickoff at second was huge in this inning too, because I mean, they were about to perhaps try to get those bases loaded up, and good alert play there by the pitcher. So Jeremy Zick kind of hanging in there, wouldn't you say there, James?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, we got a 1-1 pitch here. 1 out. Oh, he swung at a high pitch.
So 1 out in the top of the first at Ontario High School. Comcast Baseball Game of the Week, a beautiful afternoon for baseball. If Ontario wins this game, they clinch the Mount Baldy League 1999 Baseball High School Championship.
Foul ball. Yeah, James, and we were talking before the game that this is a rematch, I'm sorry, of sorts. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they met once before already. And this could be what we'd say a rematch game for Rancho.
So Jeremy Zick on the mound.
Couldn't get the signal on that. Was that a... It's like a high
So 1 out,
fastball, but
2-2 the count. As the Cougars of Rancho Cucamonga High School come to pay a visit to the Jaguars of Ontario High.
big road game here for them. That's an outside. Boy, Jeremy Zick's just bringing this heat with him today.
Yeah, he's got a cannon over there.
Yeah, he does. Let's see how long they can hold up with this.
Zick, only a junior, a 6-foot kid, weighs 180.
Oh, look at
And
this.
he takes Moon
Nice.
for a high fastball inside. Moon goes down swinging. 2 outs.
2 outs already. So Jeremy, when he started off, James, off the bat, he was like in kind of trouble at first, but he's kind of bailing himself out of this pretty nice.
And number 25, Brandon Pollard, a senior, bats right, throws right at 5'11", 205 pounds. Kind of a big kid.
Yeah, he's an outfielder. Also plays first base. Big pitch here. You still have that runner at third.
Kind of an off-speed pitch
Yeah.
across the plate. Little high for Pollard as he just watches it sail across the plate.
Kind of sort of had the appearance of a sinker, sort of, but
Just didn't break.
no, it didn't. Oh, boy.
And Zick
Zick's coming on now. He's
kind of
coming
going
on
into
with
that bag of tricks.
Yeah, he is.
1-1 the count. Throws that one right down the
it.
pipe.
Down the pipe.
And that one was heat. A little bit warmer there. 2 outs. Comcast Cable's Game of the Week. Mount Baldy League Baseball.
Ooh.
And Pollard.
Jeremy seems to really have the heat all of a sudden, James, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Now, did Pollard chase that ball that time?
Yeah, he did. He did. Came out on the outside, and I think he kind of saw it maybe break somewhat, but it stayed true to form.
2-2.
Here's a big pitch right here. Sure, Jeremy noticing that runner at third.
Pollard
Gonna
calls
hold
a
up a little
timeout.
bit.
He got the attention of the official there. Wants to think this thing over and get a good grip and choke up on that bat.
Oh, high.
And Jeremy
fastball.
Zick
Jeremy gets out of trouble.
with a high delivery outside as Pollard goes for that one. Probably an ill-advised pitch to go after.
Yeah, tremendously. That was like a high fastball, and he just swung at that. I think it got to the point where he just was hoping he'd get something, you know, even a little infield hit or something, just something to move that runner, but did not happen. So Jeremy Zick gets out of trouble in that first inning. And now We're going to take a look at another pitcher now for, this is Kyle Williams pitching for the Cucamonga Cougars. Oh, talk about a tongue twister, huh? Rancho Cucamonga Cougars.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. But we saw a fine performance there by Jeremy Zick in the first inning. Let's see if we can have a Kyle Williams impersonation here to try and get this game on a roll here.
So far, Gil, what do you see about this Ontario club? Do they look like the league champs?
Well, you know, they started off, you know, kind of, you know, tentative when they first came out. I was watching them pitch up here in the pitching cage earlier, and they seemed pretty focused. Now I know we were talking earlier to is it John Kimmel, the manager, and he was stating that his team they're ready to take control of this league, and of course this is a huge game for them.
Now, how challenging is it for an Ontario club to not stay focused today and kind of overlook a team like the Cougars?
That's a very good question. I mean, you've got the underdog trying to you know, slay Goliath, if you will, and you know, it's very easy to overlook a team like this. You might just think, you know, hey, we're already on top of the league, you know, one win, what else we got to lose? But they say the wounded dog is the most dangerous, so I wouldn't take them very lightly.
A wounded Cougar, huh?
Yeah, wounded Cougar.
All right.
Plus, I'm still impressed by that aggressive play in the first inning. That was interesting. Of course, it went for naught, but still, you want to start off making a point.
So Williams set to deliver the pitch. Throws a lot of fastballs and curves, and this one kind of low, and it had a little bit of spin on it there.
Yeah, it did. We might be in for a nice pitching duel today.
And Valenzuela, Jeremiah, number 16, takes this one. It doesn't look like he was ready, and it's 1-1.
That pitch seemed a little bit inside, but the strike zone might be wide open right now.
Kind of interesting batting stance for Valenzuela as he leaves his lead foot out a little bit behind him. Kind of an open stance.
It is.
1-2 the count.
Nice.
And Valenzuela drives this pitch out to center field as it's caught and retrieved. 1 out.
That was a nice nice run of the ball back there in center field. I mean, he just had his eye on that ball all the way out. That would have been a nice piece of hitting had he had that ball drop a little bit, or actually fly out a little bit more. Great defensive play there.
Yeah, Skeen's able to just come get under that ball, open his mitt up, and collect the out.
Okay, we're going to have a advanced runner here. So now the Ontario Jaguars in business here. They got their runner at first. 1 out.
So Todd Beltran taking first base as the Ontario Jaguars trying to get something to happen early in terms of offense.
I think coming up to bat is Josh Kashima. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. He's 5'11", 155, weighs 155, I'm sorry. He's an infielder, senior. He bats right and throws right.
So Kashima up to plate with a 409 batting average on the season and 66 at-bats. And Williams
trying to get that guy napping at first, but did not happen.
Picture perfect day for high school baseball. Kashima also has the open stance.
Yes, he does. I think that may be a coaching technique, maybe, perhaps.
Well, you never know.
Well, sure turned out to be a nice day for baseball today.
Yeah, lots of fans here.
Oh, yeah. Huge game. Could wrap up this division, if I can say that. So you got 1 strike, 1 out, no score, bottom of the first.
So Kashima wearing jersey number 1 with 8 RBIs on the season. This Coach Bob Beck trying to collect the Mount Baldy League title outright here at home. Here's a chopper hit to the third baseman, and it's thrown over to first base. And just like that, 2 outs.
Boy, good defensive play there too, and that chopper just read the play and just the ball just came right into his mitt.
Kind of smacks the leather there, huh?
Oh yeah. So Ontario all of a sudden trying to make a statement here, but now they're kind of being held up by Rancho, defensive-wise anyway.
And Tolo Sanchez, number 34, up to plate, left-handed hitter, and he throws this one to the second baseman, and he's thrown out as the second baseman goes to first base. So at the end of 1, no hits, actually 1 hit and no runs. And we'll be back on the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week after this.
Help wanted. Immediate openings available for the most important jobs in America, helping the organizations that help children. Whatever you can do, in whatever time you have, you can make a difference. To learn how you can help in your community, reach us at this web address and number. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
Crackhead, drug dealer, street hustler, gang member. All kicked out of the community with the help of kids
Like me.
Me.
Us.
You can make a difference. We have the power to help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out what you can do in your community.
It's time we're judged by
What we do.
not how we look.
Welcome back to the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. It's Mount Baldy League High School Baseball. The Ontario High School Jaguars enjoying a contest this afternoon against the Cougars of Rancho Cucamonga, James Hill and Gil Lemus. And Gil, what do you see so far in this contest?
Well, it appears to just become a defensive game right now. I mean, we had that nice little chopper to the outfield. I'm sorry, at center field, but of course nothing amounted from that. And then we had at one point in that first inning, Jeremy Zick had trouble at first and third, but this team just defensively came back.
It's a really wonderful day for baseball.
Oh yeah, excellent day.
And would it be easy for Ontario to overlook this Cougar baseball club?
Yes, it would. It would. You know, at this point, watching these two teams play, you kind of have to wonder if they're both trying to feel each other out like a heavyweight. I know it's an old cliche, but
it's true.
Has that heavyweight fight tendency feel to it.
So Jeremy Zick pretty much held his own in the first inning of play. Top of the second here at Ontario High School. And Zick throws some off-speed pitches, a couple of fastballs, and he's able to keep the batters off balance. And Carroll up to plate. A tall, slender kid. Broad shoulders, wearing jersey 44. Shane Carroll.
He's a senior and bats right, 6'2", 200 pounds, first baseman actually. Yeah, he is a big kid.
Carroll's pretty nifty over at first base for Rancho. As Zick throws this one in the dirt, and Carroll not going to swing at anything.
No, it seems like Zick's kind of lost. I mean, we started watching him in the first, and he had that arm, and all of a sudden he can't be tired already. Come on. See if he comes back with that heat again. Yep.
And Zick goes upstairs. Carroll swings at that. 1-2 the count. No outs. Top of the second here at Ontario High School. A nice crowd, a nice day for baseball, and a Mount Baldy League championship in the waiting if Ontario can pull this thing off.
Huge game.
And Carroll takes this one, drives it to left field as the outfielder retrieves the ball at left, and Carroll will hold up at first. That's a nice base hit.
That was a nice piece of hitting right there. He, brought in on the bat, and he just nailed that out there to left field. And you know, what can you say? They're in business again. Again, we've had many threats, but no come through. So let's see what they got to mind here. Who do we got batting here? That's I believe it's
Nelson.
Brandon Pollard. Could that be him? Or that's 26. I want to say it's Brandon Pollard, but it ain't.
So 0-1 the count, number 26 for Rancho at the plate. And this one is high and inside. 1-1 the count. Top of the second. And Carroll, the first baseman over there on first base, trying to get something in terms of scoring on the board for Rancho's Cougars. Zick delivers.
Boy, Zick got that fastball back in.
Kind of sizzles that one, kind of low, but they call it a strike. 2-1 the count.
You know, on a 2-1
Check that
pitch.
2-2.
Here's a time when you can actually send that runner if you want to advance him right here. He tends to hold up on that play. So Jeremy bringing that heat back again. First we were wondering if he was going to get erratic here, but now he seems to be back in control.
Yeah.
Got a 2-2 pitch coming up.
And Jeremy kind of throwing high. Do you think he's playing tricks on this kid just to kind of see what will happen?
It seems, James, like he wants to have these batters kind of chase the ball high. Of course, we have had a few batters do that, but this is a crucial pitch right here.
Full count. Man on first.
Well, Jeremy
Zick.
zinged it over to first, but good work by that first baseman, and not let that ball go past his knees.
Zick throwing over to Tolo Sanchez to make sure the runner doesn't advance. Kind of tags up and makes it honest.
Oh, boy.
And a base on balls. As
Jeremy
number
Zick,
26, Nelson, advances to first. Carroll at second base, wearing jersey 44, the first baseman for Rancho. And all of a sudden, with one out, man on first and a man on second, Dalby up to the plate for Rancho.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, Jeremy Zick's kind of got his hands full again. We saw this in the first inning, and now he's really got his work cut out for him. Of course, he's got one out working with him, but let's see what we got.
So Dalby showing the fake bunt attempt and gets charged for the strike. And so the count is against him from the start.
Coach Sullivan there seeming to send the bunt signal in that last pitch. One's going to send it again.
Dalby, another one of those seniors on the Rancho roster. As number 44, Carroll, is safe at second base. The back catcher from Ontario making the runners honest. And Jeremy Zick on the mound, so he can control the destiny of the Ontario High School Jaguars and get that Mount Baldy League championship if they win today. And Dalby determined to try to get that bunt.
Well, it's a good strategy because you want to try and get that runner at second over with one out. You want to see if you can just somehow slide him over, but of course now he's facing a 2-1 pitch, I believe.
2-1 the count. Dalby determined for the bunt as this one kind of chops out of bounds.
So now we got Zick working with the pitches now. He's actually got destiny in his hands, but you got to watch that runner at second. At this point of the inning, it's your more crucial play, or this is say the plays at third, if you will.
So Jeremy Zick delivers, and a pop fly, and the out by
gets out of
Jeremy
that
Zick.
one. So we're looking at 2 outs now, and
2 outs in the top of the second. Zick with the routine just kind of runs up and squeezes that ball in. Official timeout as the catcher wants to go up there and talk with Jeremy and make sure everything is okay. Ontario really trying to make sure they don't lose grasp of this contest.
Yeah, James, it seems that, again, Jeremy here getting in trouble again, but he just likes to play with fire, I guess, because he just likes to load the bases or get close to it anyway. But he's managed to get out of every offensive charge.
So Kyle Williams, the 8th batter in the rotation, takes this one outside for a strike. And Kyle not afraid to swing at the ball. 6'1" kid, 185. He pitches, bats right, and throws right. He's a junior. And he wears number 11 to represent his juniors.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like 1-1 is the count.
Again, now he can focus on that batter now and get the play at first. With 2 outs now, Jeremy's out of danger, if you will, if you can believe that after these bases getting moved around pretty good.
And Rancho threatening to put men on all bases as Williams just kind of waits there and lets the ball go low over the plate.
James, this is going to be a crucial pitch right here with a 2-strike count. 1 ball, so it's all Williams might get the go ahead and swing signal here.
And Williams hits the ball to first base as Sanchez scoops it up, kind of bobbled the ball and double clutched it, drilled it to second base, and gets the out for Ontario. And that could have been a shaky play if the ball gets through.
That was, James. I mean, he had the nice form to pick it up and get in position to scoop it up, but that ball kind of wanted to dance in his hands. Now again, he could have also crossed over to first base and tagged at first, and then, but of course, you want to just get at this point get the out.
So Skeets wearing jersey number 21. Timmy Skeets, a junior, a 5'8" kid, 150 in terms of weight, wearing jersey 21 up to bat for the Cougars. And Carroll advanced to third base as
Nice.
Carroll hits the ball to the shortstop, and the shortstop guns down the force out at second base, and Ontario provides some defense there.
Yeah, good fundamentals on that last play. I mean, it just great position. You can see that, obviously well coached in that form where you just wait the ball, get in form position, and make the play at second.
Gil, the tale of 2 different schools. Rancho struggled this season.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, and they had a record of overall, I believe, 7-15 and 3-10 in league play. And yeah, it is. And again, we were talking earlier about Davy and Goliath here. That can we slay the potential champion, if you will? So one team with everything to win, everything to gain. I'm sorry, and one team with a lot to lose. Although we, as I stated earlier, we did have a match. This is like a rematch of sorts. They played earlier in the season, and
Ontario, of course, having a overall record of 17 wins, 5 setbacks, 11-2 in league. If they win today, as we have talked about so much over this cable cast, the 1999 Mount Baldy League High School Men's Baseball Championship will belong to the Ontario Jaguars. And that would be so nice to have for Coach Beck.
yeah, and I was talking to Coach Beck earlier before the game. I mean, he wants that win. There's no denying. He wants to get this over with. And of course, the Cougars trying to have something to say about that. Not at their expense, anyway.
So bottom of the second is set to begin. It's number 9, Wes Young. And kind
And the
of
spot.
gets the bunt down the
Gets the
third base line and runs over to first and advances on a wild throw to second base. 1 base per overthrow.
Yeah, that was a nice bunt. And as a bunt skipped in the infield, a third baseman just never had a chance. That play was never going to happen. So when you try and force the play at first like that to make the throw anyway, that first baseman's got to kind of play catch and read, and that ball was never going to be able to get rid.
So Chris Cirrus, a senior, 5'10", 220. In the plate, in the batter's box. And Williams continuing to sizzle. Throws that one high and inside.
Yeah, Kyle Williams trying to stay in this game, so. One ball, no strikes. Make that 2 balls.
And Chris Cirrus not afraid to swing at the ball. Cirrus with a batting average of .412 in terms of league, providing 15 RBIs on the season for Ontario. And he's a big, strong kid. He likes to drive that ball. 1-1 the count. Williams looking at Wes Young over at second base as Cirrus hits this one to first base as Young comes around and scores. Also,
nice.
Number 21 scores first. Diaz, all of a sudden,
We got a
check
1-0
that.
game.
Yeah, just a Young scores and Diaz is set to bat next, so he kind of signals him around. And
Nice hit. That ball just like went right on that line. It was a laser beam line straight to the foul line, and it just decided to stay in bounds.
yeah, that's a nice hit by Chris Cirrus. Just hits it fair down the first base line, just over the first baseman, and advances to second base on that one. Puts Ontario on the board. We talked about his RBIs as
Right.
the pitch by Williams
He came through again.
is a ball. So Hank Diaz, a senior, at the plate for Ontario.
Ontario starting to flex their muscles a little bit now.
And Williams takes Diaz upstairs. A nice swing at the bat, or at the ball, but he just couldn't make contact.
You know, James, briefly we were talking about who's making a statement here, and Ontario's going, hey, we're still the guys you got to deal with. That last hit proved it.
Scratching and clawing, huh?
There you go.
A Cougar and a Jaguar going head to head. I tell you, that's quite a duel.
That is.
Quite a bout. So Diaz and Williams delivering another fastball. Gets that strike to go
You got
for
2
it.
strikes on that one.
So 1-2 the count. Diaz batting .316 on the season in the league with 38 at-bats. And he'll go down swinging.
Boy, did Kyle Williams need that out there.
Now, was that a fastball outside, or
That
did
looked
that
like
slide
a
a little
fastball
bit?
slide. It did slide. It from up our vantage point, it seemed to have slid somewhat, but seems like Kyle Williams is starting to pull everything out of his arsenal here. He's got to now with that runner at second, too. He's not out of this yet.
So Cirrus at second base, 1 out. And Williams delivers this one fast and low for a ball. And Joe Cobb, only a junior, a 6-foot kid. He's a catcher wearing jersey number 6 for Ontario. Trying to get this thing started.
Of course, critical to get that runner to third base.
And Cobb hits this pop fly to third baseman. And 2 outs.
So Williams kind of getting out of this inning here with one more batter. Who's the batter coming up there, James?
Number 2, we'll get Armando Perez, a senior. He's 5'10", weighs 155. There you see some of the fans enjoying the contest, and I'll tell you, it's a picture-perfect day for baseball. Nice crowd on hand.
It is. Big game. What else could you ask for? Start
That's
of
it.
summer.
And Perez hits a chopper right past the shortstop and advances to first. And the runner advances to third base. That's number 23, Chris Cirrus for Ontario.
All of a sudden, Kyle Williams, you know, again, we got the painted corners again, first and third, and Kyle with the 2 outs happening with him right now. Actually, it's 1 out, I'm sorry. Could be searching for something here because he might be in a little bit of a jam.
And Valenzuela to the plate for Ontario with a remarkable batting average of 500 in league and 44 at-bats. And he hits a shot down the right field line, and it goes out as a foul ball.
Boy, that was almost another tainted laser beam just straight out to right field, but it didn't.
You see Perez, he was gone on that one.
Yeah.
He really wanted to advance. So 2 outs, Williams set to deliver for Rancho.
They went ahead and took second base, or the runner did.
And Perez able to get out there and advance to second base on the steal.
You know, James, all of a sudden, Kyle Williams is in tremendous trouble now. He's got to find a way to get out of this inning with 1 out.
Valenzuela with that open, unorthodox batting stance is something that a coach would not recommend as he calls a timeout. And there you see Williams on the mound. What goes through the mind of a team like Rancho at this point in the game?
At this point in the game right now, Rancho's thinking, you know, let's not let this one slip away. You know, they can stay focused. The fundamentals are still there, but, you know, again, look who they're playing, and, you know, they got to always have that in the back of their mind.
And at the bottom of 2, it's 1 score, 1 hit, 1 error. We'll be back on the Comcast High School Baseball Game of the Week after this.
Less crime is no accident. Programs like mentoring, job training, counseling, along with after-school activities are keeping kids away from crime and crime away from kids. Look around. You'll see that kids involved in these kinds of programs are kids who are staying out of trouble. It takes you and programs that work. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT and we'll send you a free booklet. Call now and help take a bite out of crime.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a million-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
Welcome back to the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week here on Channel 3 in Ontario, where the Ontario High School team is enjoying a 1-0 contest here in the top of the 3rd to a very talented but season record challenged Rancho Cucamonga High School club, James Hill and Gil Lemus. And Gil, how is this game so far in your opinion?
Well, Rancho Cucamonga just trying to stay in this game right now. You know, it's a 1-0 game right now, so, you know, anything can happen. But, you know, Ontario right now just starting to actually flex their muscles somewhat. We've had some pretty nice hits, too. You know, nice piece of choppers out to the outfield and some laser tags out to left. But aside from that, just a defensive stand right now. Still anybody's game. It's becoming more of a pitcher's duel now.
How important is a win today for Ontario to clinch today's contest and get ready for a CIF?
Well, you want to get the little things out of the way, as they say. You don't want to go in there with a loss, obviously. You just want to get this over with, get the win. Of course, it's That's easier said than done, but you want to get the win and you want to move on and focus on your next opponent. You can't be looking past anything.
And Jeremy Zick throwing the fastball kind of low as Kano watches it as the top of the lineup in terms of hitting for Rancho takes place. And Kano will hit to the second, check that the shortstop one, and he throws that one over to number 34, Tolo Sanchez. So they scoop that up and make a routine out, and 1 out.
Yeah, you know, Rancho at this point just trying to get anybody on base at this point because they don't want this game to start slipping away from them.
Does it look like the wind is out of Rancho at this time?
It seems like that. They might be a little deflated after that last score.
And Jarrett Brown watches this one go across the outside of the plate, and they'll call it a ball. The wind starting to pick up a little bit, and Brown goes deep to left center, and it drops just below the trees and on the hillside, and Brown turning on the wheels as he rounds to third base, and he'll hold up there, and I'll tell you, that's very exciting.
You know, we were just talking about that, James. You know, you want to have something happening, and I mean, what a better way to start off than getting a nice triple. So now the heat's on Jeremy again. That was a nice piece of hitting.
So Brown with the triple, providing some offense and some courage for the Cougars with 1 out here in the top of the third. A beautiful afternoon. Ontario with a 1-0 advantage here at home.
There's your time.
Here's
run.
Moon. And Moon with the RBI. Moon hits the ball as a chopper to center field. Moon will take first base. And Brown runs in and scores.
All of a sudden, James, we've got, aside from a tie game, all of a sudden, as you know, they stated earlier, it was still early in the game, but now Ontario, who was comfortably ahead with 1 run, now all of a sudden thinking, what's happening here? Jeremy Zick must be a little bit in the back of his mind wondering, hey, I'm letting go too much here.
Pollard up the plate. Moon on first base as Jeremy Zick goes to one of his favorite teammates, Tolo Sanchez, to make sure that Moon is honest over at first base. Pollard in the batter's box for Rancho. And Jeremy Zick determined to make sure that Moon stays on that bag.
They don't want that runner to get to second. I mean, that could really open up this game. You know, you got 1 out, and Jeremy's got to find some way to get out of this inning.
Top of the third. Pollard swinging at an off-speed pitch. Collects the foul ball.
Out into the crowd here. Boy, we got a nice crowd today, huh, James?
Real nice crowd. Real nice day for baseball. All we need is some hot dogs, some apple pie, and
oh boy,
we'd have it all.
And we have it all.
Thanks for tuning in. And Zick throwing the ball to first base. Gets away from Sanchez, but he'll hold Moon at first. Moon making sure that he's not careless, trying to make sure that the Rancho club can tally some more runs. And Pollard swinging late at these pitches, but he's not going away.
Jeremy appears to be dropping that pitch somewhat. I think he's trying to get these guys to start swinging at low incoming, actually I want to say sinker balls, but so Pollard kind of chasing that ball, creating that foul.
Top of the third, Ontario High School. It's the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. A Mount Baldy League Championship at stake for Ontario. And the tie always goes to the runner.
It does.
But in this case,
boy, that
Rancho gets Moon.
I mean, that was a
walks
tremendous
back to
blow.
the dugout.
That was a tremendous blow right there. I mean, you just tied the game. You got the guy at first. I mean, you want to take chances. You want to be aggressive with the running, but somebody was caught napping. Jeremy Zick didn't quit on that first baseman's lead. leadoff anyway.
So Zick able to get the runner on board. Out at first. And Tolo Sanchez collects the out as the runner tries to advance to first.
So Jeremy gets out of that inning, and of course, but after the damage is done, we got a 1-1 ball game.
We'll be back after this.
As the American military gets smaller, who will be there to answer the call? They will. They're the National Guard and Reserve, and they make up half of today's military forces. As an employer, you may be asked to support their mission. Remember, their response depends on yours.
When young bull elephants from a national park in South Africa were moved to different locations without the presence of an adult male, they began to wantonly kill other animals. When an adult male was relocated with them, the delinquent behavior stopped. Without the influence of their dad, kids are more likely to get in trouble too. Just a reminder how important it is for fathers to spend time with their children.
All right, James Hill, Gil Lemus bringing you the Comcast Community Baseball High School Game of the Week, and it's Mount Baldy League Baseball, and this Ontario team is being challenged today by a tough Rancho club. And in fact, these teams split earlier in the season, and this game will decide if Ontario will win the Mount Baldy League Championship. A wonderful crowd. And Gil, what do you see so far?
Well, like I said, that last inning was a crucial inning because, of course, getting that guy at first napping was just humongous, because now you still got a 1-1 ball game, and Jeremy Zick got out of that last inning unscathed.
And there you see our Comcast truck, and we have a wonderful crew here bringing you this beautiful game. All we need is some hot dogs and some apple pie, because we have wonderful baseball.
Yeah, really nice day today, really nice.
Our official, there's Ken Bird standing there on the baseline, on first baseline. And behind the plate is Rick Carbajo. So number 4, Todd Beltran, takes a ball high. He's only a freshman, and he's playing varsity at 5'6", 140. Wow. That's got to be a thrill.
That is, that is. I'm sure he wants to come through here. It's a high pop fly.
High pop fly to left field. And sunlight prevents...
And guess what, James? You just said it, and he's trying to make a statement, and guess what? He's on base.
All right. He said, hey, I'll show you why I'm a freshman on varsity.
That's right.
I'll hit this ball to left field, and I'll get on first base in front of all my fans here this afternoon.
It appeared like that outfielder might have lost that ball in the sun, because he held his glove out so far out in front of him that I think he was just hoping the ball would land in the leather.
Bottom of the third, no outs, and Josh Kashima, a senior, up to bat for Ontario High School. James Hill, Gil Lemus. And a ball that is hit, just foul ball down the left field, left baseline. And I'll tell you, down the third baseline, if that ball is hit, we've got a couple runs scoring.
Yeah, James, there seems to be some kind of like a light breeze out there, and that's the second time, actually third time we've seen the ball fly out to the foul line, and it just doesn't decide whether it stays in or out, determine the game, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that ball just says, I'll go outside and become a foul ball for today.
So Williams continuing to throw that fastball. He's throwing some heat inside, and that one is high and outside.
Yeah, Josh kind of looking back at his coach, you know, awaiting the signal to take the go-ahead swing. That runner at first, very crucial at this point.
And Williams continuing to go with what got him here, and that's the fastball, his bread and butter for Rancho.
Well, he just wants to challenge that pitcher. I mean, he just wants to make sure that at some point or another, Kyle Williams will just deliver something he can really smack. It's an aggressive type of running game right now. They're at first base as they're trying to, of course, Gold, of course, to move that guy to second.
Todd Beltran over there on first, and a pitch by Williams hits Kashima, and all of a sudden, runners on first and a runner on second, and Tolo Sanchez coming to bat, the fourth batter in the lineup for Ontario, and all of a sudden, it looks good again.
It does, and you know, of course, what a better way to move the runner than to just beam him, but I'm sure Kyle Williams didn't intend on doing that, but again, we've seen this in the first inning, second inning. Now we've got, you know, runners on the bases, and these pitchers just get themselves in these jams, like they're testing their psyche or something. Can I get out of this?
So Tolo Sanchez, wearing jersey number 34, he's a senior for Ontario High School with a batting average of .417 on the season. Coming into today's game, he enjoyed 23 RBIs, and I'll tell you, he provides leadership for Ontario.
Yeah, he wants to make a statement here with his bat right now, because with, you know, no outs right now, very crucial and dangerous for Williams.
And a pop fly is in outfield. Check that in the stands. No man's land.
Yeah, we've seen a few come our way. That one kind of just died down, but this crowd just enjoying this game tremendously.
So bottom of the third inning, James Hill and Gil Lemus bringing you the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week, Mount Baldy League Baseball, and it's a fun game to watch and broadcast for you. This ball is low and outside as Tolo Sanchez watches that ball sail across the plate.
Yeah, we got us a good game. I mean, who could ask for more? Nice day and a 1-1 ball game.
1-1 the score, bottom of the third. Sanchez waiting for Williams to deliver, and here's a chopper hit to the second baseman. And the double play is turned, and I tell you, that's textbook baseball.
That is a big, humongous play right there. Nice defensive play, double play. You'd like seeing that in baseball, and that might have just, you know, helped Rancho just stop the bleeding somewhat. I mean, they were in a little bit of trouble there, Ontario was, but now Ontario up to bat, so let's see what can happen here. 1-1 ball game.
So Wes Young wearing jersey number 9, one of the seniors for Ontario. And people may have forgot about Todd Beltran. He's over there at third base. He wants to come in and score for Ontario, but only if Wes Young can drive him in. Here's Williams, set to deliver, and that's a ball. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the third, 1-1 the score. And Wes Young.
Again, we mentioned Kyle Williams just liking to get in trouble and getting out of it. It seems like he might be getting out of this one now.
Wes Young with another foul ball. Batting average of .333 on the season. Enjoying 20 RBIs coming into today's contest. Pretty textbook stance. And he hits this chopper down to the shortstop, who guns home and gets the play.
Again, that was a great defensive play, and he kind of bobbled that ball for a little bit, but he was able to zig that over to first.
So at the end of 3, it's a 1-1 score. And we'll be back on the Comcast Baseball High School Mount Baldy League Game of the Week.
You know how to escape a fire? Well, would you believe you could learn the answer from a baby?
If you get caught in a fire, here's what you should know. Get down on your knees and you remember, please, to keep your body low. You just got to fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. Fall and crawl. That's all. And you get out of the fire. If it gets smoky around you, so cloudy that you can see, just cover your
to the Mount Baldy League Comcast Cable Baseball Game of the Week. James Hill and Gil Lemus. And Gil, today's game is a very good, exciting contest, a 1-1 score in the top of the fourth. And fans don't have to pay, but they're getting their money's worth.
Boy, this is, you couldn't ask for much more. Any baseball game where you have a 1-1 ball game is just, you know, something people aren't going to walk away from this. And we're actually not so much a great pitching duel, but we're seeing some great defensive plays out there. And sooner or later, somebody's going to bust one open. I can feel it.
Come on, 1-4.
So Carroll, the first baseman, wearing jersey 44 for Rancho Cucamonga's Cougars on the 1999 varsity baseball team. Up to bat, takes a strike, and kind of swings at the first pitch, and that might be ill-advised.
It was. I mean, he's, again, we're trying to get, Jeremy Zick's trying to get the pitchers just to chase his balls. And, you know, he'll get some sinkers happening sometimes.
So Zick throwing some meat, a fastball outside, 1-1 the count. And Zick, he's going after people.
Yeah, he is. He wants to get this thing over with. I mean, 1-1 ball game, he's waiting to see if his offense can get back on the field.
Top of the fourth, James and Gil bringing you the contest. 2-1 the count. And Rancho want to score some runs and turn this thing around. Both clubs have threatened to kind of get away from the other team, but defense has permitted that.
That's right.
And a shot hit a pop fly to center field, and Wes Young retrieves that one, and 1 out, just like that.
Yeah, if you notice that ball, it kind of took a nice little, you know, standard fly ball, but there must be a light breeze out there in that outfield, because that thing, it seems to sail right into the glove. And we haven't had anything get out of the park here yet. But Jeremy Zick just going, okay, I'm still in this game right now. Let's let my bats come up to take care of this. Or he's hoping anyway.
So Big Nelson up to bat, wearing jersey number 26, as he takes a high ball outside. And Jeremy Zick going into his bag of tricks, kind of keeping batters off balance.
Yeah, he again, trying to make him chase those pitches. Notice how he's got a combination. He gets a high fastball, and then he gets these low, I want to say sinkers. They're not sinkers, but they just tend to just skip the plate, hoping these batters will chase him. And he's had success with that in the first and second inning.
Top of the fourth. And 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'll tell you, James, there ain't nothing like baseball on a nice pre-summer day, huh?
Yeah.
Especially one like today.
Feels good. And Jeremy Zick, wearing jersey 14 on the mound, delivering another low pitch inside, and that one just inches from the dirt.
You know, pretty soon these batters, you know, Jeremy's thinking, well, you know, I can only keep this up so long. So these batters are going to start, you know, going, all right, well, you know, either you're going to walk me or I'm going to actually swing at something that's nice.
And an off-speed pitch, kind of high and inside, and Nelson goes down swinging at that one.
We got a 2 pitch here coming up.
2-2 the count, so 1 out.
Let's see what kind of pitch Jeremy brings here, because I mean he's almost at that full count range.
And a smasher rip to the pop fly to outfield. Here's Wes Young retrieving, and he catches that one, and just like that, 2 outs.
Those balls seem to be hanging out there with that wind or something. I don't know. There must be, like I said, that breeze out there. But I mean, it's good for Ontario, because that keeps them, you know, defensively alert.
Gil, I never speculate, but is it possible that Jeremy Zick could be sensing some fatigue at this moment?
He could be. I mean, he's been throwing a lot of heat. He threw a lot of heat in the first and second inning. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to figure out his game right now. He's throwing a lot of wild in the dirt pitches too. But I don't know if that's purposely or if he's just trying to make him chase. Right there, that pitch right there was just inside. Nice heat and a strike.
So Leland Dalby, a senior, bats right, throws right, 5'11", 190, hits this one to first base. As a nice play Ignited by Tolo Sanchez, he retrieves the grounder and kind of just flips it to Zick, and he taps first base and gets the out.
That's great fundamentals on that, and have the pitcher chase first base and skip it over there to him. And again, Ontario holds defensively, and again the pressure back on the Cougars. For Ontario, James, I mean, you got to figure they want to get this over with, get this win. I mean, easier said than done. They want to get this, try and get a win anyway, and move on to their playoff destiny. But again, Rancho Cucamonga trying to make another statement otherwise.
And there you see the helicopter making a little bit of noise, kind of flying over us, and
we already got a car chase out there somewhere.
Yeah, of course, the Ontario airport right down the road a couple miles there. And there you see the Ontario Jaguars baseball team, who are trying to savor the moment and get past a powerful Rancho team, a team that beat this club earlier in the season, and bring home that 1999 Mount Baldy League title. And boy, would it be sweet. But Rancho says, no, we think we can come in here because we did it before and beat you guys again today.
Yeah, it's always, you always have that in the back of your mind that, we came in here once, in their house, beat them, took care of business, but now, they're, again, it's a 1-1 ball game, so I'm not going to foresay that it's anybody's game right now still. But Ontario, if they want to make a statement, fourth inning right now, James, this is the time when you really want to start making it. You mentioned fatigue earlier. I mean, that is a big possibility that Kyle Williams might be dealing with here in this next inning.
So bottom of the fourth, as the plate umpire behind home plate wipes off the plate, that's Rick Carbajal, and Chris Cirrus getting set. He's a senior at 5'10", weighing 220. And Cirrus a DH. And he can really get behind that ball.
Yeah, it appears at this point that Coach Sullivan is trying to get some runs here. The fact that we've got a DH up, don't we?
Oh, yeah. So Williams goes low and just across the plate, but he's going to get the ball called. Williams brings that one in just a little bit, right in the strike zone, right down the pipe, as they say. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, he's he's got an inside and outside type of pitch. They're all in the strike zone, but either they're in or out.
Williams really going after Cirrus. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. The bottom of the fourth, and Cirrus just kind of pulls that one too far to the right, and it rolls out. And if he would have been able to hit that one just a little bit later, could have got on board.
James, that's like the third or fourth foul ball that just has a nice trail in the foul line, but then it just falls out. That one stays in.
And Cirrus with a grounder to left field, as it just rolls out to left field, kind of a slow motion play, and Cirrus advancing to first base gets a runner on board. And all of a sudden, Ontario trying to work on that championship.
Yeah, the fundamentals start now, and with the runner at first now, we've got no outs. I mean, I don't know. You mentioned fatigue again. Is Kyle beginning to kind of sense that somewhat?
About 76 degrees, kind of a windy day, but of course when you stand out there on the grass and on the dirt and on the baseball diamond, you can really feel the heat.
Yeah, it's always, plus the adrenaline is just rushing through your bones. I mean, so kind of feeling a little bit of extra heat on you.
So Hank Diaz in the batter's box, wearing jersey number 21. He's a senior.
And I'm wondering if if team manager John Kimmel's kind of sensing that this is the inning they could make a run at. I mean, you want to see if Kyle Williams is kind of easing up, or is he actually getting tired out there?
Bottom of the fourth, Diaz up to plate. A 1-1 contest. Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. Gil Lemus and James Hill providing all the play-by-play in color this afternoon.
Gorgeous day, and great game, too.
Real nice game. And Williams set to deliver. And Diaz fakes the bunt. And a strike is called. 2 balls, 1 strike. So 2-1 the count.
You know, James, obviously for the Jaguars, their main goal in this inning right now is to move that runner to second, as shown by the bunting position they're taking.
So the bunt has been applied, and the umpire signifies a foul ball.
Now you got a good, nice question mark coming up with Williams. What do you do here? Or actually, for Coach Kimmel, what do you do at this? I'm sorry, Coach Sullivan. In regards to, you've got a 2-2 pitch coming up.
So 2-2 the count, no outs, a 1-1 contest, and Ontario versus Rancho Cucamonga High School. The Cougars in their road white pinstripe pants, purple socks, purple jerseys, purple and gray hats with an RC on their baseball cap, looking to come in here to Ontario High School and get a victory and salvage their season. Diaz.
See if Diaz will still go with that swing. Full count.
Full count. So Diaz with a good eye, being very patient there, and surprisingly he didn't show us the bunt again.
No, he didn't. He's looking over to John Kimmel to see if what do you do, Coach? What do you do?
And the runner on first base was set to steal, and he was almost there. He really turned on those wheels, although he'll have to go back.
Like I said, they're trying to get that runner to second. No outs right now, so it's like you really have everything, destiny in your hands. But of course, it's up to Kyle Williams to make a decision regarding that, if he's going to let this inning or this out slip out. Nope, he lets him go. So
now all of a sudden, Diaz with the walk, runners on first and second, and no outs here in the bottom of 4, a 1-1 contest. And all of a sudden, Ontario's Jaguars just kind of walking around, trying to get some points on the board.
Yeah, it appears like now Rancho's going to have a little team meeting at the mound, because they can sense it right at this point, crucial point of the game. Either you no outs, you got runners on first and second. The key thing is to get that scoring run from second, get them home. And of course that falls on Kyle Williams, but of course it could be discussing strategy in regards to infield positioning too.
Gil, at this point in the game and in the season, does the leadership in the winning ways that Ontario has had this season, is that coming into play?
It is. I mean, it's like a veteran team, if you will, with regards to wins and losses. And you know, sometimes you got to gather the troops and find out, hey, what did we do last time? What worked last time? What didn't work? And they rely and they draw from that. So, oh yeah, that's why champions, you know, they're always the team to beat.
So no outs, and a bunt is applied by number 6. That's Joe Cobb, and he gets to first base. And now all of a sudden, the bases are loaded here in the 4th inning, and Ontario has to feel good.
You know, Ontario's just thinking all their strategy. That was actually good coaching strategy to get that bunt. We looked back at that bunt, the second batter we had, and Hank Diaz getting that nice bunt. And now all of a sudden, Kyle Williams is like thinking, oh no, I got bases loaded with no outs. Now what?
Armando Perez, the senior, 5'10", weighing 155, the outfielder, steps in and sees what he can do for Ontario's Jaguars. Bases loaded, takes a high ball outside with a good eye.
We talked about Kyle Williams wanting, and these pitchers getting in trouble and getting out of it, but I don't know, this looks like a really bad jam.
Is Kyle Williams struggling?
Yes, he is now. You could sense the fatigue coming in now.
So Williams goes low there.
You got 2 balls now, and oh boy, you don't want to walk a run in, that's for sure.
So 2-0. Ontario with their bases loaded at home. 3-0, the count. as all of a sudden the Jaguars are threatening to pull away from Rancho Cucamonga.
And I'm sure Coach Sullivan is wondering, oh, is my pitcher really getting tired? Oh, no.
And ball 4, as a base runner will score from third base and make the game 2-1 in the 4th inning. And that's number 15. That's Richard Williamstein, 11th grader. He's 5'11", 165, plays outfield. So now you have a 2-1 contest in the bottom of the 4th, and it doesn't look good for Rancho.
No, we were talking about Ontario flexing their muscle, but I don't think they were expecting to have a run walk in on them. So Williams just struggling. And I'm wondering how much longer for Coach Sullivan to make a decision here, because this could be a crucial turning point for this whole.
So Jeremiah Valenzuela, with that unorthodox batting stance, watches a ball go across the plate or outside the plate.
You know, if this was, James, if this was a basketball game, this is about the crucial point in time when you call a timeout and gather the troops, take your full, 20-second timeout, and gather the troops, if you will. But, of course, right now it's just falling apart for Williams, and it all rests on his shoulders.
So Dalby and Williams talking things out on the mound. And remember, this is a Cougar club with a record of 7 wins and 15 losses overall. In league, in the Mount Baldy League, 3 wins and 10 losses. This is the club that walked in here earlier in the season and beat Ontario, but it doesn't look that way today.
No, not right at this junction right now with bases loaded, no outs. Kyle comes through on that pitch.
So 2-1 the count. Ontario leading this contest 2-1, and bases are loaded as a pop fly hit to right field along the line, and this one is going to drop fair as one runner scores, and that's number 21. Hank Diaz scores on that play, making it 3-1 as the lead continues to grow slowly but surely.
You know, they had those outfielders positioned more towards the center field, so when that ball, I told you again, that wind might have determined the fate of the landing spot, but that fielder was just so far off the play, they had never had a chance on that play. Ontario starting to really flex their muscle now, and they have everything in control now. For Rancho, they're hoping that it's not going to slip away here.
So the bases are loaded. Bottom of the 4th, 3-1 is the score. The Mount Baldy League Championship is within sight for Ontario. All they have to do is continue to do what they're doing. As the pitch delivered by Williams is a pop fly, it's a foul ball. And we can't see if it was retrieved. It wasn't, I guess.
I guess it just hit the ground somewhere. Hopefully it didn't hit anybody.
Near the coaching staff there.
Yeah, at this juncture of the game.
As he points to the equipment area for
yeah.
the ball. Is frustration setting in on the part of Rancho?
It is. I mean, Williams is just like, of course, we questioned his fatigue pattern here earlier, and of course that's come into play now. It's in fact, but he walked one runner in, and then we just had a nice little pop fly to the outfield that just dropped. But at this point of the juncture right here, the game, Ontario's got everything in their favor.
All this with no outs.
It's a pitcher's nightmare, really, when you think about it. You don't, want to have anybody on base at any time, but when you got them on base, bases loaded with no outs, it could be a long afternoon.
A 3-1 contest. It's the Mount Baldy High School men's baseball game of the week on Comcast Cable's baseball game of the week. As you know, you're watching, you're tuned in. Thanks for joining us. James Hill, Gil Lemus. Bottom of the 4th, a 3-1 contest. And all of a sudden, Ontario trying feverishly to pull away from a very challenging Rancho Cucamonga club.
Yeah, it's, all the stakes, everything's in the bag right now. I mean, if they can just hold on to this position they have right now. Kyle Williams is the only guy that can get them out of this. Rest in his hands. So
Kashima watches a ball low roll across the plate, and get retrieved by the catcher. Williams goes back to the mound, gets set to deliver.
You know, I'm wondering for Coach Sullivan if he's just, you know, wondering, well, you know, it can't get any worse. I mean, we're obviously not going anywhere, but, you know, you still want to have some pride in the game. You know, you don't want to really just get blown out by the team you beat earlier at their house.
A nice swing by Josh Kashima. The ball is high. Maybe an ill-advised pitch, or actually an ill-advised swing, as Williams throwing some heat upstairs.
And you could see at that point that Kashima just wanting to take that one, to, you know, take it downtown, baby.
Trying to kill the ball.
And I guess he does it on the next
Kashima takes this one deep to left field,
that one might be
and
gone.
it's almost retrieved by the left fielder. It's over the left fielder's glove. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, 3 runs score, and the 3rd run is safe. That's number 16, Jeremiah Valenzuela, and all of a sudden, things looking pretty good for the Jaguars.
Well, I tell you, we were talking about the fatigue level. Obviously, it's there. That pitch was airmailed right to strike zone where you just can't. You got to swing at that pitch, and he almost had that one out of the park, really. And all of a sudden here for the Cougars, I mean, now we talked about, you know, well, okay, who's boss, you know. Ontario saying this is my house, you know, you got to come in here and prove it again. But now I guess they have a long memory. They don't want to forget that first loss here. That pitch was a little bit low. Started to put some heat on that, but at this point might be a little too late.
So Sanchez, the first baseman for Ontario, waiting for a strike. Want to help this Ontario club, see if they can win. And the chopper is hit to the pitcher, and Williams retrieves, throws this one right over to number 44, and that's Shane Carroll who retrieves it. So 2 outs.
You know, you've got a 6-1 ball game. It's a 4th inning. We've mentioned earlier how the 4th inning is the turnaround inning, really, 4th and 5th inning, where you want to kind of make your statement in a 7-inning game anyway. You know, I don't want to get off the surge here, but, you know, we're going to have to see what the Cougars can do in the next inning.
So Wes Young, a senior, the outfielder who's provided a pretty golden glove, if you will, for Ontario, hits a chopper, and it's retrieved by the shortstop and thrown out to number 44, Shane Carroll, over at first base. So that'd be 6-3 if you're taking score at home for all you sports fans. 6-1 in the top of the 5th. We'll be back after this on the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week after these messages.
Do you know who I am? Am I a P or a D? A Q, perhaps? Or a B? I am dyslexia, and millions of kids struggle with me every time they read. Call now to help your child manage his learning disability. There's no reason to be held back.
Hey kid, my friend wants to know if that girl will go out with him. Pass it down.
Hey Grandma, ask the girl on the end if she wants to go out with this loner.
The young man wants to know if the girl over there is a donor.
Somebody wants to know if you're an organ and tissue donor.
Yes.
Hey, me too.
Are you a donor? Make sure your family knows your decision so there's no question later.
And welcome back to the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. James Hill and Gil Lemus bringing you a great baseball contest this afternoon. Rancho Cucamonga in Ontario. Ontario fighting for a league championship at home today to a Rancho Cucamonga baseball club who actually beat this team right here on this field earlier in the season. The score right now is 6-1 in the top of the 5th in favor of Ontario. And Gil, what goes through the mind of Rancho right now? What can they do to win this game?
Okay, what they got to, you know, now you're really in a hole. You know, you got a 6-1 game. You can still get back in this. I mean, it's not like it's over or anything by all stretch of the imagination. But It starts with the first batter at the plate right now, Williams. He's got to make the statement. If he strikes out, then right away you're in a 2-out hole. So Williams is the key factor to start this run if they make a run.
So Jeremy Zick towing the pitching mound. Williams swinging at the first pitch, and I don't know if coaches teach that.
No, that was I think he just thought, I'm going to try and swing at this. Obviously, he senses that, his team needs some runs. So, like I said, again, you don't want to just go 1 and out real quick.
And Kyle Williams is actually the pitcher for Rancho, and he takes this ball that just kind of hits the plate and rolls out. So it's 1-1.
Yeah, I bet you Kyle's thinking, hey, I'd like to trade places with you right now, score-wise. It's asking a lot for a pitcher to actually come through with some hits. Of course, in Major League Baseball, it's feasibly almost impossible. But, when you're playing high school ball, you could come through with some hits.
2-1 the count. Now it'll be 3-1 as the third ball goes through on the dirt.
Another factor, James, we didn't talk about is, okay, one pitcher seems to have a little run of tiredness, but now Jeremy Zick can actually, it goes both full. He could wind up getting a little tired here. Although with that pitch, it didn't seem like he was. 2-2.
Full count. A 6-1 contest. And Williams hovering over the plate. And he knows the psychology of pitching. As he hits a chopper, retrieved by the shortstop, and thrown over to Tolo Sanchez, 1 down here in the top of the 5th.
That was a nice chopper by Williams. I mean, I'm sure he feels the frustration as he's walking back to the dugout that it's like, man, why did I load those bases up? Then again, you could be a little tired, Fatigue tends to, start setting in.
So Tim Skeets, a junior wearing jersey 21, up to bat.
Let's see how long Jeremy Zick can hang in on this, this fastball, slow ball, low ball, away ball that he seems to be, formulating here.
And a pop fly hit to shallow right, as miscommunication will play a major role in that particular play, as the first baseman, the second baseman, and actually the first baseman, the second baseman, and the right fielder kind of all run and hover over the ball. Nobody calls it, and that's why the ball falls in.
You can accentuate the positive with anything when you're down 6-1, and that is a very big positive, being on first base now. I mean, of course, you got 1 out, but, again, could Jeremy be also getting a little bit, fatigued? Let's see what the batter Cano says for the Cougars.
So Ben Cano, a 5'10" senior, an infielder, takes a strike.
Jeremy's still bringing that heat. I keep touching on his fatigue, but he's proving otherwise. He says, Gil, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll show you.
1 out, 1 strike. And Jeremy Zick, always making the runners honest. He'll go to Sanchez in a heartbeat.
It's a sign of a good, alert pitcher when he's always chasing that first baseman runner.
Cano waiting for the delivery.
Check swing on that.
Check swing.
No! A little bit of indecisiveness out there by the field lineman. I saw the catcher actually motioning. Well, what is the call? What up?
So 1-1 the count. 1 out. A 6-1 contest. As Jeremy Zick continuing to go to Sanchez, and he's going to keep that runner on the bag, tagging up.
See, you got to try and get that runner to second. That's your goal right now, regardless whether you steal or bunt or hit. Two balls, 1 strike.
So 2-1 is Cano waiting for a pitch he can hit. As they say, make him pitch to you.
You know, James, Jeremy all of a sudden beginning to struggle somewhat. And this is just what Kano would want to get, is a nice low pitch, get on that base again. Of course, we're going to have a little meeting at the mound here with the manager.
And the catcher comes to have a conference with Jeremy Zick. That's Joe Cobb. And Cobb, what a wonderful name to wear for baseball.
Yeah, boy, one of the all-time greats. I mean, they're having a complete infield meeting there. I wonder if they're sensing that, you know, Jeremy, let's just wrap this one up. I mean, easier said than done, though. I mean, these kids are tremendous. I mean, it's great watching young high schoolers, up-and-coming ball players coming up, and especially in California, there's so many tremendous athletes.
And Coach Beck telling his club, hey, let's take this thing home, and we're at home, and let's see what we can do. There you see some of the fans watching the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week, and I'll tell you, it's a great day for baseball. We can't say it enough.
Gorgeous day, gorgeous day.
3 ball. Yes.
So 2-1 the count with 1 out.
Come on, 4.
Top of 6. Check that 5. Here's Kano. Hits this one shallow right, and it's retrieved by the right fielder. As that time, they actually called the ball.
Yeah, they did. They needed that one to drop. The Cougars did anyway, or somehow to get another runner on base. But see, now it's a percentage game now. You got Jeremy, just has to worry about this next out. Then you got this, you know.
So that's pop fly to 9 for those folks at home scoring the contest. With your scorebooks, 6-1 the score, 5th inning. And Jeremy Zick working to Brown. And Brown wears jersey number 2. Jared, a junior, bats right, throws right. He's 5'9", he's 180 pounds.
Well, he got everything on that one. That might be a nice hit.
And Brown with a rainbow shot to center field, takes 1 base, takes 2. Here's the RBI as Skeets runs around and scores, making it 2 runs for Rancho. And Jared Brown providing a triple. And I'll tell you, that can make Rancho happy.
Boy, we were talking in the last hit that went out to left field that just dropped. Didn't drop anyway. Now this one was just a nice piece of hitting. Now you could hear that from up here in the stands. He railed on that ball, and that is just what they needed. You know, with 1 out and runner at third, you're in a great position here to actually get back in this one. And he swings at that one. Seemed like a low and away pitch. So now the table's turning somewhat for the Cougars.
So 6-2 the score. 1 out as the Cougars clawing back into this one, going head-to-head with the Jaguars in the Mount Baldy League Baseball Game of the Week here on Comcast Cable. We're glad you could tune in and watch some exciting high school baseball. And here's a shot provided by Moon, and it almost goes up to the moon. It comes down along the line fence area on the hillside here at Ontario High School. And Moon getting a triple on that play. All of a sudden, some scoring happens. And Ontario looking around, they're not too happy about that. A 6-3 contest.
You know, we mentioned that wind, that breeze that's out there. I mean, I was thinking that might have been carried out, would be carried out out of the park, actually, almost, it seemed from here. But all of a sudden, we've got us a great ball game here. One team with everything to gain, the other team saying, you know, you guys might be going on to other bigger, better things, but, you know, we beat you once anyway.
So Jared Brown scores as Moon gets the triple on that play. Hit that one deep to center field. And there's alphabet lettering on the fence here at Ontario High School. If you're familiar with this ballpark, there's a letter B. And that's where the baseball was hit, right under that B, and that's pretty far. It's probably about 400 feet. As Jeremy Zick works to Pollard.
6-3 ball game.
6-3 contest, 5th inning. James Hill, Gil Lemus providing the commentary for today's Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. Great day for high school baseball.
It is. I mean, plus the fact that now we've got a runner on third, and Jeremy in trouble somewhat.
And Pollard
another drop
goes with the pop fly, and it drops in as Moon comes around to score. Now all of a sudden it's 6-4, and this game is far from over.
Yeah, I could see. I want to say John Kimmel. I don't think it's Bob Beck. Actually, I'm sorry. Going out to the mound, and we were talking about fatigue earlier. How does it rest with these pitchers? We saw Williams get racked in that 4th inning. Now all of a sudden the tables have turned. In fact, they're actually going to make a pitching change, I believe. Yeah, they are going to make a pitching change.
So
I'm
Coach
not sure
Beck
they're bringing in.
Would like to thank Jeremy Zick, number 14, as number 10 comes in. And that's Rivera. He's a senior. He's 5'10", 155. He pitches and he throws right and bats right. So at this point in the game, what's it like to change your pitching? Does that help you or does that hurt you if you're Ontario?
Depending on, of course, it all rests based on who comes in and, how warmed up are you and how mentally are you in this game. I mean, it's easy to foretell when you're sitting back in the pitching cage, thinking, all right, I'm ready now, coach. But, of course, now you face the dilemma that you got a runner on first. It's a 2-run game. Plenty of time still, 5th inning. So, plus, and more important than anything, you got that 1 out. So, Ontario all of a sudden beginning to feel that, I thought we had this one wrapped up a while back. And James, we were talking earlier, you were saying about the fatigue, and we were mentioning how much does it play a part in this game. Well, obviously, we've seen that. It's been, imploded right in front of us that, we saw both pitchers get racked, and all of a sudden, we went from 0-1-1 type ball game forever to now it's a, 6-4 ball game.
And the score is 6-4 in the 5th inning. We'll be back on the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week after this.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
I guess I got beat up on average of 4 or 5 times a month. The lowest point, I think, was when I called my father to come and pick me up, take me to the hospital. I was on welfare when I left my husband. I needed financial help. I was not happy doing nothing. I was motivated to do more with my life. I wanted more. People tell me how lucky I am, and I always tell them, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
We're not asking you to hire everyone on welfare, just one.
Sports fans, welcome back to the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week, the 6-4 contest. Ontario High School by 2 runs in the 5th inning over a very talented Rancho Cucamonga club. Ontario trying to retrieve and win the 1999 Mount Baldy League High School Baseball Men's Championship for varsity. As a pitching change was just set, there you see an airplane for local Ontario Airport. And Gil, give us a synopsis of what you see out there on the field today.
Well, if you can hear me past this 737 coming up, we got Luis Rivera. They made a pitching change, and again, now the mindset is I need to get, obviously we're down, I mean, we're still up, but, it's only a 2-run game now with 1 out and a batter at first base. So, the game can turn for anybody right here.
So Shane Carroll, wearing jersey number 44, the senior, 200 pounds, a first baseman. swings at the first pitch and fouls it out for Rancho. That's number 10, Luis Rivera, coming in with a fresh arm, and that's good news if you're an Ontario fan.
Yes, it is.
And a good eye provided by Carroll as the ball thrown low. And Carroll, 1-1 the count. This being a relatively long inning.
You know, obviously we saw the intensity and the crucialness feeling that you have to this game because of the fact that Ontario didn't waste any time hesitating and changing pitchers, whereas I feel that Coach Sullivan for Rancho kind of might have waited a little bit too long. I'm going to have someone advance here to second.
And Pollard is going to take an advancement on the running to second base. There you see him, number 25. He's a big kid. And he's a senior, Brandon. Bats right, throws right. He's 5'11", 205 pounds. Plays outfield and first base for Rancho.
Had a little intertwined intervention from the other field here.
Like the JV game is going on simultaneous.
Yeah, that's a nice hit. Somebody hit it all the way to our ballpark.
Yeah.
We can only cover one game, folks. So.
That's it. So Carroll waiting on the delivery from Rivera and hits another pop fly. This ball is really pop flying this afternoon. There's Wes Young retrieving the third out of the inning for Ontario. And that catch there really definitely stopped some of the runs and some of the momentum for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's there was a big, tremendous stop there. I mean, the wheels were coming apart, but it seems like they held tight.
So Rancho Cucamonga's Cougars take the field, the 1999 varsity boys baseball team. Williams up on the mound, and this is a very proud club. They've struggled this season, 7-15 overall, 3-10 in league. The good thing is that Rancho was able to come in earlier this season, I've said it before, and beat this club. So if anybody could do it today, it's definitely Rancho.
It is. That's a mindset, and that looms large in the minds of the Ontario baseball team also, because they start thinking, you know, this is a team that beat us. Although at one point they were probably thinking, hey, who are these guys? But now they're probably looking over their shoulder, going, this ain't over yet.
So only the man upstairs knows if the Mount Baldy League Championship will be delivered today by this home Ontario Jaguars baseball team.
I'm surprised, James, I'm sorry, that the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars are still sticking with Williams. I mean, I don't know if it's one of these, let's get your head in the game and finish it out, or what. I mean, let's face it, you get another couple more runs, this game could be over. But Coach Sullivan seems to stick with Williams, so we'll see what's going to happen here.
And Williams is 6'1" junior, so he still has all of next season to play. And it's interesting, maybe they're trying to get him some more throws in there, some more pitches, and to get him off for next season.
That is a good point. That is a good point, James. And that could be their game plan at this point. Because I saw somebody warm up out there earlier, but I don't know. Maybe they're thinking they're back in the game. Let's just, but Kyle has got to be tired at this point.
So Kyle Williams delivers, and a pop fly is delivered and retrieved by the second baseman. And just like that, one out. And that was number 23, Chris Saris, for you folks keeping score. So Saris pops out.
This is Hank Diaz batting.
Pop fly to 4.
Williams delivering a inside pitch for strike. 1 strike, 1 out. 6-4 ball game.
So Hank Diaz responsible for helping some of the runs today as he provides offense. for Ontario, wearing jersey 21. Here's Williams with the delivery, reaching into that bag of tricks. And I tell you, that ball looked pretty fast.
It did. I mean, obviously, Williams is trying to make a statement that I'm not tired yet, Gil. I don't care what you say, but these hits are, they're chasing these hits and they're getting contact on them.
And Hank Diaz kind of late on that swing, and it cuts out of bounds or behind the bench area and the dugout, if you will, of the Rancho Cucamonga baseball program.
You know, James, we still, it's anybody's game again. I mean, we thought we had a blowout earlier, but now it's, it's anybody's game again. So, of course, Ontario's got a whole pad here.
And Diaz provides a deep shot to left field, and the left fielder, number 21, runs back and retrieves that one. That's Tim Skeets. And if Tim Skeets doesn't catch that, that's a tough
That would
play.
be tough to come back from that. And nice, good defensive hustle on that.
Wonderful catch by Tim
Trailing the ball,
Skeets.
keeping it underneath him, not making sure it doesn't get underneath his legs or above his head. But nice, and you got to imagine it's pretty, with that wind out there, that ball just decides to go one direction, then all of a sudden changes direction on you.
And Gil, that's not a very easy play to make,
No,
is it?
it isn't. It isn't.
So Williams throws this pitch in the dirt to number 6, Joe Cobb, and he has a wonderful name for baseball, reminiscent of Ty Cobb.
One of the all-time greats.
So 6-4 the score, bottom of the 5th. There you see some of the fans and lots of beautiful women here and gentlemen and everybody enjoying the baseball, the game of the week here on Comcast Cablevision.
Yeah, and this Ontario home crowd just hoping that it's going to continue here, because right now they're kind of sitting on their hands wondering, I thought that we were going to walk away with this one earlier, but now they're like, I don't know.
Very good contest, real good game, fan-friendly, if you will. 6-4 in the 5th. And Cobb waits for Williams, and they call that one a strike.
Oh, boy.
So at the end of 5, Williams will go down on watching the ball, and just like that, it's a two-run game, 6-4. We go to the top of the 6th. We'll be back after this.
Red phosphorus, bromobenzene, sodium hydroxide, hydriodic acid, hydrogen chloride gas, benzyl methyl ketone, thionyl chloride.
Every day, toxic chemicals are dumped in our environment by meth cookers. It's everyone's problem. Learn more. Visit our website at stopdrugs.org. Where meth goes, destruction follows.
Hey, Dad, look at this.
Watch your back, man. It's a good day to die.
And they're waiting for you.
It's them, not you.
Do it.
You're late again, son.
Meth users are involved in California's most violent crimes. Learn more. Visit our website at stopdrugs.org. Where meth goes, violence follows.
Welcome back to the Comcast Cable Baseball Game of the Week. A 6-4 contest, the top of the 6th. James Hill and Gil Lemus. And Gil, talk to us about the strategy of Rancho at this point. They're not out of this game. It's only a 2-run contest. Anything can happen in baseball.
Exactly, and they're not out of it, as you say. They held pat that last inning, got the defensive plays they needed, and now all of a sudden, again, the pressure's back in Ontario. And as I stated earlier, the fans here, just Ontario faithful, thinking, let's get this over with. Rancho, meanwhile, saying, I'm going to say something about that. And let's hope we got a nice run coming up here. 6th inning.
So somebody is 6 outs away from a win, and we'll have to see how that pans out unless we go into extra or extended innings. And there you see a wide shot of a beautiful day of baseball and some of the fans looking on, children and family members and a little bit of everybody out here this afternoon for Comcast Cable's Game of the Week. And Rivera delivers a fastball high and outside. And number 26 at the plate, not going to go for that one. And Rivera going into his bag of tricks, 1-1. He throws that one fast and low, just at the knees. It's in the strike zone and gets the strike call.
Yeah, Rivera seems to kind of be focused in on that strike zone.
And a pop fly just inside. It looks like it would sail out behind the third baseline, but it doesn't, as the third baseman retrieves that pop fly, makes it 1 out. A 6-4 contest, the top of the 6th here at Ontario High School. The Mount Baldy League Championship at stake for Ontario High. Rivera.
Just what you want, the nice pop fly that you can... Nice throw. Ontario now, all of a sudden, James, starting to flex their muscles, saying, you know what, guys, we are headed somewhere after this.
Yeah, Dalby pulls that one. It's a chopper, a grounder to the third baseman, kind of scooped up, drilled over to first base, and all of a sudden, 2 outs. A 2-run contest, 6-4 the score in the 6th, and the choppers continue as Williams, the pitcher, hits this one to the shortstop, and he's safe. The tie goes to the runner. The fans don't like what they see, and all of a sudden, Mr. Momentum with Rancho Cucamonga High School.
Exactly. I mean, that was a close call at the plate, actually. I mean, from here, this vantage point, it's so out in the distance, but big, crucial batter at first now.
Williams able to be patient and get a runner on board for Rancho. Here's Skeets in there looking at a ball, kind of low that time. He's not going to swing at the first pitch. And Skeets wearing jersey number 21. He's a junior, 5'8", weighing 150.
With 1 out here, Ontario can actually set their own pace, but they can't let that runner at first get over to second.
And a foul ball called as Skeets makes contact. And he was ready to run that time, but they signify the foul ball as the plate umpire says, no, don't run anywhere and come on back. And there you see Rivera, number 10, providing a fresh arm for Ontario.
Yeah, it's something that they needed. Of course, they didn't need somebody to get on first, but of course, the tying run at the plate right now.
So Skeets looking for Rivera to deliver in this game, far from over. 6th inning, a 2-run contest, and Skeets choking up on the bat and hitting the foul ball behind the fencing area, and the fans in the bleachers there.
Yeah, you know, Skeets was one of the crucial players in that comeback here in that last inning, and now back at the plate, he's probably thinking big-time score here.
Hey. And Skeets swings at that one, and there you have it there, gets the out. It's a 6-4 scored contest in the 6th inning. We'll be back on the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week from Ontario High School at the Baseball Diamond after this.
Production and use of methamphetamine destroys innocent lives. Learn more. Visit our website at stopdrugs.org. Where meth goes, violence follows.
I thought methamphetamine was fashionable until I saw my friends with open sores on their skin.
Until I saw my friends' rotting yellow teeth.
Until I saw my friends with paranoia and fear in their eyes.
Get the facts on meth. Visit our website at stopdrugs.org.
Now I know. Meth is just not fashionable.
Get the picture.
Welcome back to the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. James Hill and Gil Lemus. A 6-4 contest as Ontario is not enjoying a home game so far this afternoon. Actually, it's a very challenging game against a very tough Rancho Cucamonga High School baseball team. And Gil, tell us what you see out there.
Well, I see the fact that it's still anybody's game technically. I mean, Ontario obviously wants to put this one in the bank and get on with their championship quest. I mean, of course, we're talking about the 1991 CIF 3A champion. So, you know, this team has a historic, you know, championship tinge to them. So, I'm sure they want to get this over with here. But again, Rancho's trying to make other points, saying otherwise that no, you know, we're not just going to let you walk away with this.
Gil, with the championship theme looming, how important would it be for Ontario to win today and collect the Mount Baldy League championship and get ready for the CIF quest?
It's huge. It's tremendous. You get the championship, you go in as a champion, and again, you're the team to beat.
Armando Perez, number 2, shows the bunt attempt as a strike is called, and Williams throwing some heat upstairs. It's late in the game in the bottom of the 6th, and Williams still continuing to go into his bag of tricks.
It's amazing. I don't know what exactly Coach Sullivan is thinking at this, or what approach he's taking to the fact that, you know, leaving you know, Williams out there so long. But he's still bringing heat.
So 1-2 the count, as Armando Perez, wearing jersey number 2, goes outside and kind of reaches for a pitch. Now he watches this one. 2-2 the count. A 2-game contest, 6-4 the score. The bottom of the 6th, Ontario at home. Wine-colored jersey, gold number with white lining and wine-colored socks and gray pants. And Perez will go down looking.
Williams still bringing some heat on that pitch, and you know, I think I might have mistaken him for somebody who was a tired pitcher at this point, but now I can see why Sean Sullivan's coaching the team and I'm not.
And Valenzuela watches the pitch go across the plate. And Williams throwing some meat. And Gil, is it me, or does it look like Williams is actually throwing the ball harder this inning?
It seems that obviously, as I stated earlier, I think Coach Sullivan is seeing something in Williams, that all of a sudden he's getting some momentum here, that, you know, he's pulling out fastball pitches and, you know, inside sliders and stuff. So, I mean, obviously he still has some energy left.
Could it be the second win?
Could be. Plus the fact that it's only a 2-run game all of a sudden, so of course that doesn't help any right there.
Now all of a sudden a walk as number 16, Jeremiah Valenzuela, goes to first base, and number 4, Todd Beltran, comes up to bat for Ontario here at home on the Ontario Baseball Varsity Diamond. 6-4 the contest, bottom of the 6th.
That was a late delivery on that tag, and Ontario still trying to get all the momentum back, saying, you know, we are the ones that are going to be going on to something else.
Dalby trying to pick off Valenzuela as he runs over to second base. Officials timeout as Valenzuela wipes himself off and collects his second base. Beltran, Todd Beltran, number 4. He's only a freshman, and he had a monstrous hit varsity.
Yeah, it looks like team manager John Kimmel is actually still playing aggressive. He wants to wrap this one up. Just by the fact that he advanced the runner on that pitch, on that last sequence, shows you that he wants to wrap this one up. And again, James, you're correct. He seems to be putting a little bit more steam into that fastball.
So a fastball low and outside is the pitch. 1-2 the count. And Beltran being very patient on that particular delivery. 2-2 the count. 1 out. Bottom of 6. And Beltran goes down swinging.
Wow, so Williams acting like a closer and a reliever actually with this heat he still has on him.
And Williams showing us 2 Ks for those of you scoring at home. That's 2 strikeouts here in the 6th inning. And he's one of those pitchers that only gets stronger down the stretch, and that's very interesting, Gil.
Yeah, James, I'm really impressed with Williams. He's, you know, I'll come up front and say it. I thought he was probably done by the 4th inning, but he's showing me otherwise.
So Josh Kashima in there, and he hits this one. Just foul. As Valenzuela over on second base, and I tell you, he was ready to run.
He was. He thought that was in, and he says, I'm out of here. I'm taking this. Maybe take it all the way home, but of course, runner at second. 1 strike.
2-run contest, 6-4 the score, 6th inning. Mount Baldy League High School Men's Baseball, 1999 season. Williams delivering this pitch is fast and it's outside. It's kind of low. Another ball.
1-1 pitch, and of course Williams has to keep an eye on that runner at second, because of course that could be the determining run here.
Fans really enjoying a good baseball game this afternoon. And the shot is delivered to center field. Misretrieved by the center fielder, and number 16, Jeremiah Valenzuela, gets the score just like that. A base hit gets a score from second base, and he scores there. So a 7-4 contest. 1 run comes in, and all of a sudden, Ontario looking like champions.
Yes, and I think they're closing this out, making their statement now. Now, again, I question Coach Sullivan's determination to leave, as we stated, Kyle Williams in for so long. I mean, at this point, perhaps he's just making us, getting him ready for next year or something, but I truly don't know how you can give your team a fighting chance if, although he has shown us some heat coming up here in the last 6th inning here. But that was a huge run. That last one was huge.
The score on the RBI provided by Beltran. He's got it to third base on that hit as he scored Valenzuela. 7-4 the contest. That's the score here in the bottom of the 6th. As Tolo Sanchez, number 34, hits a shot to the outfielder. And now all of a sudden, Kashima will come in and score. And this one looks like it's getting away again.
It is, and I think now Ontario's starting to flex their muscles, saying, you know what, guys, we are going to go on and get our championship here. And Williams, of course, doing all he can. I mean, we showed some spurt of strength there that last inning and throwing some more heat for a while there. But like I said, I'd like to know the determination behind Coach Sullivan keeping him in there so long. Especially if they start hitting on him here every pitch almost.
So 8-4 the score, the 6th inning, and a Mount Baldy League championship within reach for Ontario High School. Here's number 9, Wes Young, a senior, 6-foot kid. He throws right, bats right, and he's 175 pounds. Check that, 185 pounds. He plays outfield, and he's really provided some good defense while out in that hot, blazing outfield. And now let's see what he can do offensively for Ontario as Williams is set to deliver. A strike is the call as Williams goes inside. 2-1 the count. 8-4 the score, 6th inning. The Comcast Baseball Game of the Week. Wes Young at the plate. And hits a pop fly up. And the second baseman retrieves, and just like that, the outs continue.
8-4 ball game, so
momentum for Rancho Cucamonga And a shift change for Ontario. 8-4 the score in the 6th inning. We'll be back on the Comcast Baseball Game of the Week after this.
Man, that was huge.
It's not a national emergency. It's a neighborhood fire. Yet for the families who lost their homes, it's a major disaster.
What does the Red Cross do in a situation like this?
We're here to help the families. We give them food and blankets, and we provide shelter.
I was with the families last night, and thank goodness they didn't lose their lives. But in so many ways, they did. When people think of the Red Cross, they think of hurricanes and blood drives, but there's so much more.
The Red Cross is always involved in the community. It's neighbor helping neighbor.
Who pays for all of this to happen?
We help people, people help us.
First to respond with care and relief. Count on the Red Cross to be there for your family. But we're not a government agency. We rely on you. Call the Red Cross because your help can't wait.
Sports fans, welcome back to the Comcast Community Cable Television Baseball Game of the Week. It's Rancho Cucamonga in purple visiting the maroon-clad Home Ontario club, who are 3 outs away from winning the Mount Baldy League Championship. James Hill and Gil Lemus. And Gil, what do you see in the next 3 outs?
Well, it's the closure. It's a matter of let's wrap this up, let's take it home, let's win it. And you know, you liken it to like in an NBA game when you know it's already over, or you know you can, or like in the 4th quarter of a pro football game, and you can sense the crowd just getting crazy, knowing that that's it, we're going to get this championship. Well, that's what you want to hope for here in the next 3 outs. But of course, you know, we did see, you know, a comeback here of sorts in the 5th inning. But at this rate, it just looks like Ontario's just trying to close it out now and send it home.
But you can never underestimate the courage of the Cougar with Rancho Cucamonga. Here's Kano, who takes a strike, swings at a high fastball, and Rivera showing you a fresh arm, and he's trying to take this thing home for Ontario.
Yeah, if they get this out here, and then you can start sensing by that time, the crowd will really start sensing that the championship's ours.
So 8-4 the score in the top of the 7th. And 2 strikes against Kano. Kano wearing jersey number 9.
Rivera acting like a closer at this juncture of the game. I mean, he's just coming in with some heat, saying, you know what, that's it, that's one.
And Kano goes down looking. And there you see a close-up of Ben Kano, or jersey number 9. He's a senior, so here's number Brown, Jared Brown, a 5'9" junior, bats right, throws right, a center fielder, weighing 180 pounds, facing Rivera. And the Cougars. Yep. And Brown applies the bunt, nice bunt down the 3rd base line, just inside the grass area of the infield, and he gets on board.
That was a nice call by Sean Sullivan to have him bunt at that point, because I mean, obviously, you know, you want to try whatever you can to get on base. You know, with 1 out, it worked. So now you've got something to work with, but of course now the outs are not in your favor. So I'm really impressed with Luis Rivera's pitching here at the end. He's acting like a closer in the big leagues. Just throwing pitches, strikes after strike. That was a nice bunt, by the way, too.
So Rivera trying to finish this one up strong.
Boy.
And Moon sitting there on the home plate, looking for a good pitch to swing at. And Brown over at first base, kind of clowning a little bit, trying to make the pitcher worried. And I think it's working.
Yeah, it is. He's kind of getting them inside and scraping them somewhat. But now we've got a, I want to say a 3-1 pitch. But the board up here says 2-1.
So Moon content to take a walk and get to first base. And all of a sudden, runner on first and Moon, and Brown goes to second. So Brown is in scoring position at second.
If
a base hit gets a run.
If this runner can get on base, load the bases up with 1 out, then you'd have the tying run coming up to the plate, and you know, they're just making me eat my words here. I keep thinking that this one's just about over, but it's not. Shows tremendous courage by the Cougars.
And Pollard with 2 hits today. With a double in the second inning and a single in the third. So he can hit, and he showed he can hit today off of Ontario. Pollard swings at that one. 8-4 the score. 2 strikes, 7th inning. And Ontario trying to bring this thing home. And that's the 1999 Mount Baldy Baseball Championship in terms of league play. And here's a chopper hit by Pollard, and it's mishandled. That's an error charged.
You know, James, I just feel like I'm in a time warp. I just said if you load these bases up, guess what we got at the plate now with 1 out. So they're going to take this down to the wire, I'm assuming.
That's an E6, an error to 6,
right,
which is a shortstop. For those of you scoring this at home, all of a sudden, runners at first, second, and third.
Now, if Carroll can just sink this ball into the outfield, just let it drop, they might have a chance to get at least 2 runs in, but...
So Rivera and Carroll set the duel, and Rivera goes upstairs. Carroll swings at the first pitch he sees. 8-4 the score, bases loaded, and Rancho
point of the game,
right where they want to be.
They're just, I mean, you know, Carroll's going to take a swing with all his might here to try and get everybody home.
And Carroll hits a chopper, but it's late.
Here's a crucial pitch right here by Rivera, because you know, with the pitch count, you know, you got the 2 strikes coming in.
So this is what it's all about. 8-4 the score, 7th inning. And at this point, Rivera wants to deliver a real nice pitch, and Carroll wants to get a good hit to help Rancho. The pitch chopped, tapped right there for a foul ball.
And well, James, that sets up a pitch here that you know Carroll's going to take a humongous swing at this, because, I mean, with your pitch count the way it is right now, you've got nothing to lose, baby.
8-4 contest. Here's Rivera set to deliver to Carroll. And an off-speed pitch sails right across the plate.
Good eye on that one. That was a high floater, and I was expecting that thing to sink, but it didn't. So, again, Carroll's playing the waiting game here.
Rivera's showing you a selection of pitches. Here's a chopper, hits at third base, and all of a sudden, the runner is tagged out after a bit of a delay there at second base.
That was a tremendous error, if you will, at second base by not, you know, great alertness by tagging him out at second. But you're always taught as a runner to get on the base, especially on the outfield base, and get on and stick onto that base, to not walk off that base. So now that leads us down to the final.
So Brown scored for Rancho Cucamonga, makes it an 8-5 contest, 7th inning, 1 out. James Hill, Gil Lemus bringing you all the action this afternoon, and it's a great day for baseball. There you see Carroll smiling and grinning, wearing jersey 44, and he's happy at this point in the game, trying to get some momentum and get some consistency going for Rancho.
We got a big slugger coming up to the plate. Let's see if he can change destiny a little bit.
Here's Nelson, number 26. He's a big kid representing Rancho. He's a left-hander. And if he gets a hold of that ball, he may pull it deep to right center.
Little heat coming from Rivera there.
So runners on the corners for Rancho as they threaten to make a run here, make a move. Pitch is outside by Rivera, and a good eye for Nelson. He's not going to swing at any pitch he sees.
No, he's not. He's taking the coach's walk and wondering, trying to pick his pitch if he can. I mean, it's very crucial with a runner at first and third. And of course, Rivera with something to say about that. He's got a 2-strike pitch, a 2-2 pitch coming up.
So 2-2 the count. Here's Rivera delivering
That's actually, excuse me, that's a
ball low
pitch.
As Nelson runs over to first base, and all of a sudden, Rancho Cucamonga, the Cougars with the bases loaded, 8-5, and Mr. Momentum wearing a purple jersey and a pair of gray trousers with pinstripes.
Yeah, it just seems like they don't want to let Ontario get away with this here and just, you know, go on to their championship. But you know, you gotta commend the Cougars for their heart and soul and their intensity in staying in this game.
Well, Gil, if you're Coach Sullivan, what do you tell your Cougars now if you want to pull this thing off?
Well, of course, it's up to the batter who's at the plate at this point. You want to tell them you're still in it. Of course, you can do all the rah-rah things, you know, that you can pull out of a bag. But this game rests on this batter, of course. And so now it's a pitcher versus batter duel right now at this critical point of the game.
What goes through your mind if you're wearing an Ontario jersey?
Of course, you want to close this up. You got the guys out in the outfield just saying, "Man, end this game." That's you know, and of course, all you can really do is relay that telepathically to your pitcher. Of course, the pitcher's a bag of nerves right now, and going, "Man, I don't want to let this one get away." So it's a pitcher versus batter duel right here.
So Leland Dalby, number 15, swings at the first pitch he sees, is popped up to the right to first base, and number 34, Tolo Sanchez, catches it, and there you see Ontario as they start to celebrate. Folks, Ontario is the 1999 Mount Baldy League Men's High School Baseball season champions.
Great congratulations to the Ontario team, and you know, again, and I want to say condolences to the Cougars, but of course they've had a great effort here. They played well down the stretch, loading the bases, giving us some excitement. Ontario just showing why they are going to be the champions, and going on to other things here with other teams. And again, looking back on this game, I question the leaving in of the pitcher for the Cougars that long.
And there you see the infamous high-five handshake line, reminiscent of quality, good sportsmanship, and all the things that sports and fine sports and athletics exemplify.
Exactly, and you know, you wish more teams and more sports would go to this realm, and this is excellent. Excellent. Great game. That was a great game, great afternoon, great crowd. You couldn't have asked for anything better than this.
Well, the final is 8-5. It's Rancho Cucamonga coming up short here in a quest to get past a talented Ontario club here at home. Once again, the final